Thank you for joining us for the preview and prediction for La Mirada and St. John Bosco. Freddie, we were here last week talking about La Mirada taking on a Trinity League team and how that was the holy grail for the program that has won a CIF championship, Southern Regional, state championship. They got the job done. They beat Orange Lutheran in a game that shocked many, many people and will probably get the program boosted up a division or two in the next year or so, depending on how things go in the postseason, of course. But now they're taking on the team. They're getting into the deep water. They're playing the teams you don't want to play.
These next 2 weeks, Machete, what are you doing?
You can't ask that anymore.
Well,
you know that.
Yeah, I can ask that. I'm going to ask that. I'm going to ask that question as we do this drill.
Okay. Well, why you? What's the problem?
Well, I think if you're Mike Machete, look, I agree. You want to take on these Division I teams. Right?
Paid off last year.
Yeah, you want to take on these Division I teams.
Right.
But I think you want to take on Division I teams where you have a competitive chance. What they did this past week, beating Orange Lutheran, that was great. There are other teams in Division I, even in the Trinity League, whether you want to be Survey, whether you want it to be Bishop Amat, whether you want it to be Crespi. I think there are other teams they could take that shot, be competitive in, and maybe win. Taking on St. John Bosco, modern day that follows, and I don't care. Maybe they think they want to take on Centennial down the line. Maybe they're thinking Bishop Gorman next year. I think they're crazy because I don't think they're at that level, and I don't think. Look, they won a championship.
But it worked last year.
No, I'm not going to say that it worked. They were a good team. I'm not saying that getting smacked by 60 points or 50 points works. I don't think that
was
helps
the bottom line. At the end of the year, they were state champs.
I still don't think it was because of things like that.
Well, after you play Bosco, anything else looks like a Swedish massage.
Yeah, I don't think they're ready for that yet. I think they took a step last week. Look, they're going to go into this game against Bosco. You see what Modern Day did to Bishop Amat last week? Well, you could just, that's what's going to happen this week. It's probably going to get ugly quick. As good as La Mirada is, we saw Bishop Amat last year, best team they had since the 1990s, play St. John Bosco and lose by 40 or 50 points in the semifinals. There is absolutely no way, shape, or form La Mirada is going to be within 4 touchdowns of St. John Bosco in this game. It's going to be a running clock in the fourth quarter. Great what they did last week. Absolutely zero shot against St. John Bosco. I just think these are the teams they don't need to keep scheduling right now. Maybe some point they get to that point where they're starting to beat these teams handily. They're a little more work, but not yet.
Let's try. And I'm not in Mike Machete's head. You're not in his head either. But I think I figured this out.
I'm right about this, Eric.
Okay. I think what happens when you play these teams, when you have this attitude that Machete has, and his players end up reflecting that attitude, and that's we don't care who it is. We're going to play them, and we'll play them anywhere.
Yeah.
Down the road, when you're in state playoffs or when you're in CIF playoffs, nothing scares you, nothing intimidates you, and you see it gives you that swagger. So assuming you guys don't break legs out there,
and that's
it pays off.
Because you brought this up in West Covina playing those and players getting injured.
Yeah, you just don't want guys to get hurt.
You do risk against this type of athlete and this type of team, guys getting hurt. Because guys you probably can't take out earlier. Guys that are so geeked up for a game like that, going against these next level athletes, you can get hurt.
The problem is, Fred, is that nobody can question Machete anymore. I know you just did a little bit, but he did this last year and they won a state championship.
I'm not attributing it to getting blown out by St. John Bosco. I'm not attributing it to anybody. There are a lot of teams that can go and lose by 80 to them. A lot of teams did. I think they won because they were a good team. They got in the division. Machete's a great show. When they were playing like teams in their division, they were great.
Have you heard the old adage that you learn more from losing than you do from winning?
I don't believe that.
Okay,
adage.
well, okay.
I don't know.
Okay, maybe there's a dynamic in play here. I think La Mirada is going to be very hungover off of its win over Orange Lutheran. Okay.
Yeah.
But the thing is that St. John Bosco took an airplane to its last game.
Yeah.
Okay. It was on TV or something. So. Here's my thing.
Oh, here's your theory.
Maybe there'll be some jet lag.
Yeah.
I got a cool question about this. Like, does St. John Bosco, do their players actually go to school? Like, is it like, do they
probably
have classes?
Yeah.
I mean, they're all over the place.
They
have pro day, college day,
traveling tutors.
Yeah, right. Well, I mean,
I just know that they're a college football team.
Yeah, they
are
themselves
a high school football team.
They really are.
So is De La Salle all these years. So is down the road. I mean, the Inland Empire.
I guess that's what you do when you become Bishop Gorman or St. John Bosco. You start playing teams out of state.
In modern day now. I mean, that team last week.
Right.
I mean, there are certain next level teams, and my whole point is, I'm all for doing what La Mirada doing, scheduling up, but I think you've got to schedule competitively. I think you got to schedule a team where you feel like you've got a competitive chance, not a game just a schedule where you will get blown out. I just don't see it. I don't like it.
I'm not taking La Mirada in this game. I agree with you. I don't think it'll be close. I think St. John Bosco will be forewarned by what happened last week. Hey, these guys are state champs. Hey, they just beat Orange Lutheran last week. We got to take them seriously.
Over in the first quarter.
It could be. It could be. But kudos to La Mirada for giving it another crack. I do agree with the thinking that this will pay off down the line, assuming everyone stays healthy. And it'll only help La Mirada in that argument, not that they're making one, of going up to D2 or D1 eventually. But Freddie's got SJB. I got SJB.
Maybe this is their argument to stay down in Division 2 or 3 to schedule these games.
I don't think they want to.
We're not ready there yet.
La Mirada doesn't want to. I think they want to go.
I don't think they want to do that.
I do.
I don't think that's what they want.
He's playing with D1 guys. Yeah. I mean, these are guys that
I don't think
Michelle
wants to take him into D1. I don't know if they can get there. Do you?
Yeah, look at Mike's attitude. I mean, his attitude is we want to play anyone, anywhere, and I think he wants to turn into the biggest, baddest public school program. And you know, they're taking great strides to do so.
Maybe you're right. Maybe 5 years from now, we're going to be saying La Mirada and Centennial.
2 years from now.
Unbelievable teams.
Okay, so there we have it. Again, don't have to tell the La Mirada fans to get out there. They will. St. John Bosco fans will, of course. Freddie and I both agree St. John Bosco. We'll see if La Mirada can make this a game. Get out there and enjoy it, everybody.